This is Shawn Woodell from Heavenly Soaps and Such, and today I am monogramming a little romper, and here's one that I've already done. This little romper with the stacked initials on it, and I just monogrammed it on there with tearaway because it already has this liner and the front liner, so I just used tearaway on it. So I'm going to show you how I'm doing that. First thing I do is I take the romper and I iron it out nice and straight this way. Okay, then I match up the tops like this and the side, lay it out, and I don't iron the whole thing because I don't want to line everywhere. I iron a little piece right here and a little piece right there so that when I open it I can see the top clearly and I can see the bottom clearly. Okay, now I unfasten all of the hooks. I've already have my tearaway ready, and because the stacked monogram is a 3x3, I am using this fast frame, and this is the inside measurements of the frame. Okay, so I'm going to turn this around upside down. Close that pin before I get some ink on something. Move this out of the way. And I did create a video using my Embroidery Essential software on how I create these stacked monograms using a regular font. So you can take a look at that. I just uploaded it today. Alright, now I'm going to use the notch out here on the fast frame, and if you cover it with the white, you can just take your fingernail. I don't use ink or anything, but you can just mark it. I didn't cover this one all the way so I can actually see it, and I use the one here and I use that to help line it up. Okay, now I'm going to bring in a little bit so you can see better exactly what I'm doing. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up with this line that's on here. And I'm going to center this center part right on that little center where the line is. Okay. And I can feel that I'm right there at it. And I put this line right inside the frame, so it's right on the frame. So everything's laying inside the frame, and then I feel, and I can pull it back up to see, and it is right on there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this top part up right here, and then I'm going to press. Okay, so that's even. Now what you want to do, one thing you want to make sure you do is, because the liner is will separate from the actual front fabric, you want to make sure that everything lays flat. You don't want to let it kind of adjust. And right here I feel a little line. It's like a wrinkle. I want to make sure that I stretch that out. Alright, so I'm feeling it. I'm on the inside of the frame. Looks like this side might be a little off. But I have this on the frame and that on the frame. Okay, now what I like to do is I press it down really nicely. I like to measure just to see. So what I do is I measure from here to here, and it is about 9.5. So I know that I'm going to be 4 3/4, and when I look right there I am about 4 3/4, so I know that's right. Okay, I also want to make sure I have the same amount sticking off here as I do here, and I probably make this harder than it should be, but it's exactly 4. So I come over here, let me go back and measure. It's exactly 4 from the inside of the frame to the outside of the frame. So see, this one's not exactly 4. So that tells me something's a little off. That's right on there. That is right there and right there. And sometimes you will get where these little outfits are kind of off. So I'm going to turn it around and then I'm going to look at it again. Okay. 1.5 centimeters. See, this side's going up a little more than it should. So I'm thinking that my bottom is a little off. I think that might work. And that might work. Okay, let's try that. Okay, now I'm going to measure from here to here. I don't like doing these. It's just, to me, it's aggravating, but from there to there is almost 1 centimeter. See, it's like I'm over too much. I need to come over a little more, I think. Okay, let's try that. Almost 1 centimeter, and that one is 1 centimeter. The last one I did was a little bit off, and I think that might be why I didn't take as much time as I needed. So that's almost 1 centimeter, a little over 1 centimeter. So it's kind of like I'm that one's 1 centimeter, less than 1 centimeter. Okay. Now let's see how much we have. I have 3.5 sticking off from the edge, and a little over 3.5 sticking off from the edge. That's still in the center from there to there. Okay, let's measure how much is left over here off of the edge. 2.5. 2.5. So I'm thinking that's right. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pin it a little bit and clip it. And I find that it's easier to do this if I have it on the machine. But I'm going to try to clip it, pin it right here. I'm just going to come over to the edge and pin, trying not to push too much on my stabilizer, on the tearaway. Because you don't want to stretch it and push it out of alignment. And I feel a little bump under my liner, so I'm going to just lift it up and make sure it's nice and flat. Come right here and pin. Okay. Take another pin down here, and I want it to be, check and just make sure that this looks like it's on the center line. It is, so you can check the center line, the little notch. I'm going to hold this up. That's why I like to do it on the machine, because you don't have to hold it up. The machine holds it up. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on the machine. So I'm going to bring you over. And bear with me. I'm going to come up to the machine there. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the machine. And then I'll finish pinning it. I'm just going to pin it toward the bottom. And making sure that I'm able to keep the liner from sliding around. I don't want the liner sliding everywhere. So that looks good. I'm going to pin it one more time. Right here. And you can see it's just easier to pin. And it's kind of awkward with my the camcorder behind me. But it's easier to pin if it's like hanging. Then I take, and I really don't have to do this. I'm going to get you on my other side. I don't really have to do this, but I'm going to back you out. I'm going to take these little clips that I use, and these are just like little office clips, and I'm going to clip it. And I don't really pull, I just clip it, just to kind of help make sure, even though the pins probably work, sometimes I don't use the pins, but because of the liner, I really don't want this one moving around. So I'm going to just pin it a couple times to make sure it stays where I want it to. Okay? And then I'm going to pin it across the bottom 3 times. I'll start in the middle. And I do have a couple other colors are in there, which I'm visual, so I don't like using those. I need to take them out because every time I grab one I have to put it back. It's my OCD. Get in, okay? I'm going to do this one a little bit. I don't like the way that one's kind of laying. Okay, and you just want to make sure it's nice and straight. Now what I always do, and it depends on what you're doing if you can do this, is I kind of fold the edge there and I put a little one right on the corner. Kind of fold it, pull it under, and then just clip the corner. I don't put it up here because if you do, sometimes it grabs the edges. Okay, now I got that on, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the file that I already have saved, and I'm going to kind of show you that. I've had some people ask me to show the screen when I'm doing things, so I'm going to take my jump drive. Actually, I already have it in. I have 2 of them. I already have it in. You put it in the side here. You let it load or like connect. You're going to press this middle button. You see it blinking, and then I'm going to find the actual monogram that I'm using. And let me grab my paper. Okay, the monogram that I'm using today is the RSF. So I'm going to go through here and find it. There it goes there, RSF. I'm going to click on it. Pops up on the screen. I'm going to click Set. And I'm going to click Embroidery. Okay? Now, it's set up. Now I want to get it where I want it. So, and I do have to change the thread, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this off so I don't accidentally start embroidering the wrong thread, because I need white. Alright, I'm going to center it. So the way I do that is, you can see the little plus. Hope you can see the little plus right here. I'm going to use these arrows to center that on the outfit. So I'm going to go down, and you can use these buttons to make it go faster. If I want to go real fast, see it kind of jumps. And I'm going to show you what's happening here while I'm doing that. I hope you can see it. The button, the little laser light is actually right there. I hope you can see it. But I'm going to go back over here till I get it about in the center. That looks about like it's in the center to me. So then I'm going to check it. It's about that far from the top, that far from the bottom. I'm going to come down a little bit more. check it again. Okay, looks about right. Okay. I'm going to make sure that it's right on the edges. Zoom out a little bit. Okay. I'm just checking how much I have hanging over here. Okay, that looks about right. Check it one more time all the way around. I don't want my needle to hit anything that I have on there. I don't like the way that looks. So I'm going to take that off. Looks a little like it's kind of folded up there. I'm gonna poke it down and re-pin that. Okay, that looks better. Okay, that looks like it's centered. I'm gonna take my ruler and just measure right on the frame at the opening. It says it's 9, so it should be 4 and a half. So I'm going to put it right where it was, which was right there. Okay. Now, what I can do is I can also pin the top. So I'm going to take a little pin, stick it right there. It won't be in my way. And then I'm ready to embroider. Okay, I'm going to get my white embroidery thread. I'm going to thread the machine. I'm going to wrap around this twice, just because the lady at the sewing place said that there are sensors in there, and sometimes wrapping once doesn't let the sensor pick up the thread. So therefore, if you wrap it 2 or 3 times, then it works better. I find 2 works fine, so I just do 2. I'm going to thread it. I'm going to do some videos on how to do those simple little things later. Okay, it's threaded, so I'm ready to go, but I do need to change my bobbin because I don't want it to run out in the middle, and I only have a little bit left. So I have a bobbin here. I'm going to go ahead and just open a new thread because I don't want to have to keep undoing my thread, and I just messed this up. I just made a mess of that. I'm not sure how to do that. How I did that. I've never used this before. But it's making a mess. So I'm going to just wind it back up. get to a point where it's not going to let me. I could cut it off, but I don't want to. I don't want to waste all of it unless I have to. It's still coming, so, and I think about that is all I'm going to get. Alright, so I'm not going to waste any more time on it. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and line the bobbin. Okay. Up down here. Wrap it around here a couple times. Close it and click start. And it will stop when it's finished. It should be almost done. Okay, and what I do is grab this, cut it up here, leave that hanging across the top, cut off the thread where I started, and I'm left with just a bobbin thread. I mean the end piece. Put it in my bobbin, trim it, and I'm ready to go. Put it back in the machine. I always recheck my details to make sure this is the right size. It's the blue romper, it's the white thread, and the letters are RSF. Perfect. I'm going to come over here, click start, and go. And you'll see that it starts. Videotape me doing the entire monogramming, but that's what it looks like on the screen. And there it is, monogramming. And this is kind of what it's going to look like when it's done, other than it'll have the white thread instead of the navy. Okay, thanks for watching. This is Shawn Woodell from Heavenly Soaps and Such, and I will see you next time.